Aloha, welcome to the ATP video. The goals for this video are to describe how ATP acts as the energy currency at the cellular level. We'll explain how food molecules provide a source of energy for living things. And finally, we'll explain how ATP is made from ADP. Okay, so let's begin today with a little discussion about ATP. ATP, or adenosine triphosphate, acts as the energy currency for the cells. So ATP is the molecule that the cells use for energy. Even though we get our energy from the food that we eat, the cells can't use that. They have to use this ATP. So ATP is going to store energy as potential energy. It's chemical potential energy stored in its last bond of its phosphate. And we'll show you that a little bit later on today in the video. And then this energy is then going to be converted to heat, or it'll be converted to the energy required for another reaction to occur, or it can be converted to kinetic energy. Okay, so the ultimate source of energy for us comes from our food. And food has what they call chemical potential energy, and that's going to be energy that's stored in its bonds. When those bonds are broken, it'll release energy that can be used for other things. Now, carbohydrates and fats are considered energy rich, and that's because they have a lot of bonds that are able to be broken to get this energy. And remember, we don't get the energy straight from the food. We have to convert it into ATP first. Now, about 60% of the energy we get from our food is converted to body heat, because remember, we're warm-blooded. Our body likes to run at about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. So that being the case, we have to generate a lot of heat to keep our bodies that elevated, and when our bodies are that elevated, then digestion works as it should. So it's kind of like a self-filling cycle. We generate the body heat to stay warm enough so that we can have the reaction so we can generate the body heat. Now you'll hear an awful lot of talk about a calorie. For our case here, a calorie is a unit used to measure the energy in food. So the higher the calories, the more energy the food is going to have. But remember, it's not just about high calories, it's about smart calories. Okay, so let's talk real quickly about making ATP. What we're going to start off with is this molecule called ADP, adenosine diphosphate. That means it has two phosphates. So there's an adenosine molecule here, and it comes out and you have one phosphate and then another phosphate. What we're going to do is we're going to take that and that extra phosphate and take this energy from the food, and that energy from the food, when we break that bond, that energy is going to use to attach that third phosphate, and we end up with adenosine triphosphate. That adenosine triphosphate is what the cells are going to use, and what the cell will do is it'll break this bond right here and free up that phosphate one more time, and when it does that, that gives it the energy for the cell to do work. So that's why we say that ATP is going to be the currency, because it'll take that ATP molecule, this one, and then what it'll do is it'll break off one of the phosphates to get energy, and then we have this ADP, the remnant, plus this phosphate. We take the energy from the food and we're able to build it back into more ATP. So that ATP goes to ADP, and it's kind of a cyclic in nature, and that's how you can see here in the picture. Okay, well that's it for our video. We'll go into more detail in the lessons. As always, good luck with the lessons, and we'll see you next video.